All right, welcome aboard, everyone. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. Back we are here on the Donovan Live Postgame Show, along with Jim Donovan. I'm Dave DeNatale. The Donovan Live Postgame Show is always presented to you by Master Pizza. Download the Master Pizza app on your phone and start earning pizza points today. That's Master Pizza. Taste above all. And Jimmy, it's game week. Finally, finally we can talk about real football and games that matter and players that are going to play, and nobody's on a limited rep schedule. Everybody's on board here for Sunday.
Yeah, it's the biggest opener they've had since they've come back, and maybe even dating back to the mid '80s when Bernie Kosar finally took over as the starting quarterback of the team. But it has so much riding on it because of the bad history they've had in winning the opener. They've only won it once since they've come back in 1999. They've lost it in weird ways. They've tied like they did last year. But they need to win this one because of all the expectations and because of their talent. Because of their talent level and the provisions that were taken during the preseason to make sure that everybody is healthy and ready to go. And so they are all healthy and ready to go. And they come off a terrific training camp, a great joint practice session with the Indianapolis Colts where they accomplished a lot. And I think the coach, and we all wondered how he would handle training camp, I think he has them in a great spot and in a great mindset. They're at home. It's time to do it.
Right.
It's time to show everybody that you're as good as everybody says you are on paper.
Yes. Now, you talked about this last week, and I remember thinking, no, I think he's probably right about this. People, I gather from from just talking to people around town, and you listen to the sports talk shows, and you talk to fans, and you kind of get the pulse of people. The word you used last week, I think, is right on point. I think fans are tight because this is new for most of us to have a Browns team that has high expectations that I think are worthy expectations. This is new, and so it's like, okay, what happens if you start thinking about the bad stuff? What happens if they don't come out and score a touchdown in the first drive? What happens if the defense isn't as good as we think it is? What happens if? And you get tight.
You do.
I don't think the players, though, are in that mode, and I certainly don't think Freddie Kitchens is in that mode.
No, I don't think so. I think they think they're very good. I think they're very excited to play and ready to play. The small glimpses of the number one defense are pretty eye-opening, and that was with a very small sample size of Myles Garrett. I mean, we actually saw Vernon and Richardson and Ogunjobi more than we saw Myles Garrett, and now you put him in there Sunday, and wow, that's really going to be something. I think they know they're good.
Yes.
And I think the offense knows they can be very good. And it's just time to show it. But I think that we have all, and I'll go back to last December, because the Browns came in, they were coming off the game against Denver, the Saturday night game, and they were going to play the Bengals for the last regular season home game, and everybody had them, they're going to win, and the game got sold out, remember, and really they were out of the playoff mix. They had kind of been eliminated because they needed so much to happen around them. With other teams taking care of business. But still, everybody was going to go to the game. And I can remember I was with my wife, and we were out on a Saturday afternoon. And people were coming up and saying, we're going to blow these guys out tomorrow. And I remember turning to my wife and saying, gosh, I hope the Browns don't let these people down.
Right.
Because I really expect them to win. And that's what we've been that's what losing for so many years has you trained to think. And then the next day, of course, the Browns came out and really kind of took them to the woodshed and won the game. And that's what the Browns are all about. Okay, that's the new level that they can play at, and they have a quarterback that is ready to go. I mean, in the past, that has been the position that we have stubbed our toe on for so many times. So I think we've gone through many stages. Okay, we went through, a really good conciliatory feeling at the end of the season last year that they were on the right track. We were really happy when Freddie got hired as the head coach. And then, boom, and then that trade.
Yes.
Wow, and then you're just going crazy. But you got to remember, that's only March, right?
Right.
And then you have the national people on board with you up to a point. Then you have the Colin Cowherds who come in and say, not so fast. Pump the brakes on these guys. Not so much on the Baker Mayfield thing. that starts to put a little doubt in your mind.
Yes.
Are they that good? Are they okay? Then the Tampa Bay third preseason game, I think, kind of made us a little bit that we walked into the water and it was really cold.
Yes.
But you got to remember,
you
get out of the water.
Right.
Yeah, I just think that we're all traveling down the road and we're doing it together. And this is new for us that they're good. And now they just have to go out and do it. And I think they're very excited to do it. I think we might be tight. They're not tight. I don't think they're tight.
Yeah. I love this from Matthew. He says, "Go Browns!" Out from Toledo. He goes, "Let's light up those Tennessee-shaped scoreboards." Yeah. They're exactly
very good. Yeah.
Even Delaney Walker was saying today from the Titans that, or maybe it was yesterday, whenever it was, that, we shouldn't even bother showing up. It's Cleveland this, Cleveland that, Cleveland this. And that's a different feeling, too. But the locker room, I feel like it's more insulated. I think Freddie keeps the noise out pretty effectively.
Yeah.
The noise they want to get out is what's already here. They don't necessarily, they'll take bulletin board material. It'll be shared with them, but they keep that stuff insulated pretty well.
Yeah, we'll get a better read on them tomorrow. They were off today. That's their day off, so they're in tomorrow. Tomorrow's their big media day as they get set for the game, and then it kind of winds down, and they become even more insulated as the week goes along, and they get ready for the game. But I think that, Landry, Beckham, Nick Chubb, all those guys, I think they're ready to go.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just time to do it. And when you have a quarterback that really takes the game on, I think that Baker Mayfield's very different from Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
Mariota can be, he's, a lot of people criticize Mariota for his personality in that he's a little passive, maybe not as aggressive as people want him to be. And, and our guy's completely the opposite. Right. Our guy is, hey, bro, let's bring it on. Come on, let's go. And I think that Baker Mayfield, the only thing I would worry about with him is he's a little bit too excited for the game. And so how do they manage that? That's it, though. I think they are primed and ready.
Yeah, and if Baker's too keyed up, just give the ball to Nick Chubb a couple times, and that'll calm him down. Do you feel better about the overall offensive line after the moves that were made from Friday, Saturday on here to even going back to Thursday, the moves that were made to kind of bolster the line and bring in a little bit more experience, a little bit more depth?
Yeah, they were depth moves. There's no doubt about it. But in time, you could see. You could see Wyatt Teller step in and end up playing right guard. Here's the thing. Kevin Zeitler was a really good player.
Yes, he was.
But they got a really good player in return. They needed pass rush, and they went for pass rush and sacrificed stability at the right guard position. And Zeitler was paid very, very handsomely, and at one time was, the highest paid guard in the NFL. And he's a terrific player that kind of went under the radar a little bit. But, he's a terrific player. But to get the player, Olivier Vernon, that they got, they had to give up something, and so they gave up Zeitler and felt they could, they could fill the hole. Now, they've had trouble filling the hole.
Yes.
Let's be honest about it. It was supposed to be Corbett, but he wasn't ready. That's a disappointment considering where he was drafted. Eric Kush was supposed to be a depth player, and now he's a starting player. So we'll wait and see. I think that's going to be a fluid situation as the season goes along. Good luck to Kush. If he can hold on to the job. He has started before. He's played games before. No doubt about it, but we'll see how he does.
Let's see. Scott says, I'm feeling dangerous about Sunday. Go Browns. Paul wants to be the contrarian of our show tonight. The Browns will be 0-3 to start the season. Want to bet? No, well, we don't do that on this show. But, the Browns, we've talked about the importance of this game Sunday with the Titans, but also that Monday night game too, because and then to lead into that Sunday night game where everybody will be watching right here on Channel 3, actually, that's the worst case scenario. I don't think they're going to be 0-3, but they have to take it 1 week at a time. And
they do.
They can't worry. Peter King was talking about in his column, the Browns are going to have all these primetime games, and he wonders if they're ready for that. I don't think that's an issue. I thought they played real well on Saturday night last year in Denver, and played pretty. What was it? Sunday night against the Ravens, or was that a late Saturday?
Well, it was a feature game in the last game of the season. It was like CBS's top game that day. Yeah, it was it was a featured late afternoon start in that game. They played very well in the Thursday night game against the Jets. That's what launched everything.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a problem when
either.
they play or anything like that. But I don't want to, agree that they're going to be 0-3. But let me just say this, 0-1 becomes 0-3 real quickly. And that has happened too many times where they have lost a heartbreaker on the opening week of the season, and they haven't recovered until October when it's too late to recover. So, I'm not saying that that's correct, but there is past history that says if you don't take care of business in that first game, especially when you're playing it at home, that it can become 0-3 if you don't get a hold of the thing.
Because then you get into the, as Phil Savage once called it, the woe is us syndrome, and you lose a game that you think you should win.
Right.
And they've had so many of those season openers that have been winnable games that slip through their fingers, and then you feel like you don't recover. You're on a treadmill that you're just running to try to catch up all season long, and you can't do it. Let's go to the kicking game.
Okay.
They go with the rookie, the draft pick in Seibert. I wasn't surprised with that because you drafted him and you want to play your drafts, and he kicked really well the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. But the Scottish Hammer, getting the starting punting job, and at least right now he's also going to be the holder on those extra points and field goals. Jamie Gillen, he won the job, but I was surprised. I thought they would go with the safe move of staying with Colquitt, and they didn't want to stay safe.
Well, I'm going to lean on Mike Prefer on this one because I'm sure that he was very, very. That's the Browns special teams coordinator. He's very good at this, and there's no doubt they wanted Seibert to win the job.
Yeah.
So when things were going off kilter for him and Joseph, for that matter, when neither one of them were kicking well out in Berea, never mind in the games, they really worked with Seibert to make sure that he straightened himself out. For the main reason that you talked about, he's a 5th-round draft choice that they drafted.
Right.
The other thing that drove them crazy was when Joseph hit the upright on an extra point in the Redskins game. And the reason it drove them crazy is because that's what happened last year. He actually was okay on field goals. He had a tough time kicking extra points. And I have said this so many times. You chase those points the rest of the day when that happens. And he kicked them into danger a couple of times against Atlanta, against Carolina. And Gonzalez kicked them into a lot of danger and into the, right into the lake earlier in the season. So when he hit that upright, I really think they said, hey, we've seen this before.
Yes.
And let's just let this ride out and get this kid his confidence because we drafted him. The other situation is, here's what I look at. Gillen is cheaper.
Yes.
And I think they look at this situation right now and say, if this works, we have our kicking situation solved for a lot of years because these two should grow up together. They should grow up together. Tony Grossi wrote a story about when the Raiders did this, and they had drafted Janikowski, and then they got Shane Leckler the same year, and the two of them were together forever, and you didn't have to worry about it anymore.
They're both all pros.
They were both, they were terrific. They were sensational, and that wasn't even being competed for every summer when training camp would open up. I think that's the hope here. Now, they're a long way from that being the situation. We'll see how it plays out. It is a gamble. There's no doubt about it. He does have a great leg, Gillen does, and he does make tackles on special teams. I mean, he's really unbelievable. That's the whole rugby thing. I mean, he is as clinical a tackler as they have on the team from what I've seen. This is that you hold your breath a little bit, though, and you hold it more on him holding than maybe on the punt game. The other thing that I worry about, and I think we touched upon this when we were going over this last week before the last game, I just worry about the strategic punts.
Yes.
Okay? Not the length of punt, but when he has to park a team inside the 20 or inside the 10.
Because more often than not, this offense will get you a couple of first downs where you're near, if they have to punt, they're going to punt probably between the 40s. And what you need your punter to do, I mean, Colquitt made his bones by being able to put it inside the 20 every time. Every time.
He was very good at it. He did it in preseason, and he didn't punt often, but he did it in preseason one time where he just technically, you knew what he needed to do. He needed to put them out inside the 10-yard line. and he did it. He did it like he was a golfer from muscle memory that just knew how to hit the pitch into the green, and he was very good at that. Now, I haven't seen enough of this kid to do that. There's no doubt he can uncork a 70-yarder or 50-plus.
Right.
No doubt about it. But can he, cut the field really down and really park a team into bad field position? That will be the litmus test, I think, on him.
Because, these two, that's the thing. These two guys that they're betting on, the Browns, Jimmy, I just think are going to play, especially early on. I think they're going to play a lot of close games. They're going to play a lot of 20-17 type games or 24-21 type games, and you can't leave the points on off the board. You got to make your extra points. You got to make the field goals in range, but you have to win field position battles too. And it seems like it's like, okay, guys, what are you talking about? We have Baker Mayfield, we have Myles Garrett, we have all these weapons, but sometimes it just comes down to, can you win that last phase of the game? And you're betting on two guys that are unproven to do so.
Yeah, it's a tremendous story. The Scottish Hammer story is unbelievable.
Oh, it's amazing.
He is a character, and he is, he is what he is. He's really, he hasn't been tainted at all by the bigness of it. He's sitting in a bar down in Tremont with his dad at the Flying Monkey when he gets the call that,
love that story.
I'm going to be punting against Tennessee. So it's a great story, and we'll see how it plays out. We really will. It's a very, very important phase of the game, though. Yeah,
no question. Before we wrap up, I just want to get a couple thoughts from college football, from this first big weekend where everybody was kind of in action. The Irish of Notre Dame were in action last night. I know that was a game of interest to you.
It was.
Start with first things first. What did you take away from seeing Fields in Ohio State?
Oh well,
that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, there's these quarterbacks that transfer. Actually had some great games.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts was unbelievable.
Yeah, Fields had a great game for Ohio State. Jalen Hurts had an amazing game at Oklahoma. Who did that help more? Did it help Jalen Hurts, or does it even fortify Lincoln Riley's unbelievable ability to coach these quarterbacks up? And when is he going to go to the NFL?
Exactly.
The NFL is waiting. The NFL is saying, "Come on,
over.
But I think that Ohio State. Really took care of an issue. I think the defense was a little bit of a spotty there at the end, giving up the 21 points. I think that he's an amazing athlete. You can see why he was the recruit to get when he was coming out of high school. So we'll see how that plays out. He's got, what it is, Dino. Once they get into the Big Ten, he's got SEC speed.
Doesn't he though?
And he's coming into the Big Ten, and listen, I just think that there's a little bit of a difference there, and I think you see that. I think that's why Urban Meyer was so successful. He brought some of that to Ohio State and into the Big Ten, and I think that other teams, other schools have been slow to be able to do it or to do it overall, but this kid's got. He has got SEC written all over him.
He's legit. By the way, do yourself a favor. You want to see, I think Urban Meyer in the studio for Fox these first 2 weeks, I think he's not that he wasn't a good game analyst, but I think in the studio he does a great job.
Well, I saw a clip where he explained
the read option.
Unbelievable.
Yes, I was sitting there going, "This is."
Yeah, it was really amazing. Yeah, he was terrific. Now you look and USC, big week, tough weekend. They lose their quarterback in that game, and I don't know how that's going to fare. Everybody's got him headed to LA.
I just think there's only there's like 3 other jobs I think he'd consider that are college football superpowers. Well, Texas, his guy Tom Herman's there, and Notre Dame and USC. Besides Alabama.
I will tell you this. I think now remember he could have had the Notre Dame job when he got the Florida job. I think Notre Dame felt they had him.
Yes,
and he could have had that job. I think that Urban's a very, very smart guy, and I would think that he would take a look at Notre Dame and say, and this is hard for me to say because I love Notre Dame. I've loved them since I was a kid. Can I win a national championship at Notre Dame? And Brian Kelly would tell him, no, you can't. No, you can't do it. I don't think you can do it.
I've done everything, and I can't. Yeah.
He's changed everything about Notre Dame football, but when they get into that game with that kind of talent, and I know Clemson is as close to the SEC as any team. I mean, you could put Clemson right in there because they're that good, and they beat Notre Dame handily, and of course Alabama ridiculed them in that other playoff game. So I don't know about the Notre Dame thing, and I know that he coached there, and it was always very close to his heart. He went to Catholic school, all of that, but I really I think the USC thing is intriguing to him because of the ability to recruit and to get into the Pac-12, which is wide open, and he could win that, and the Los Angeles market.
It's
I mean,
West
imagine,
Coast,
playing in the Coliseum. Because really, SC draws. I mean, they get amazing attention there. And here now you have the Chargers there, and you have the Rams. And really, SC outdraws both of them.
Right. Meanwhile, Chip Kelly and UCLA is a disaster. I mean, you talk about owning the city. I mean, he could own the city.
Absolutely, so I don't know. I would say Notre Dame was that was a strange game last night. They got off to a scary start for them because I didn't think defensively they were ready for that Louisville quarterback, the kid Pass, who was playing, and then they finally adjusted to him and to them and got back into it. Notre Dame quarterback Ian Book, who played, took them to the playoffs last year. I thought he was very, very all over the place in the first half.
Little jittery.
Very jittery. But then they straightened it out in the second half. They have to be ready, Notre Dame, for Georgia. Because they're on the road, which is going to be tough. They're at Michigan. I think they're at Stanford, too. So those three games are going to be a problem for them. Other than that, I mean, I really think Ohio State, once again, I don't know what Luke Fickell can do against them coming up this week.
I don't either. I'm curious because I know they feel good about themselves after beating UCLA, but I don't know if they can just waltz into Ohio Stadium and have that kind of success. But I'll be watching on this weekend, obviously the Browns and everything, but I'll be curious to see how Kyler Murray does. If he has the same kind of start or similar kind of start that Baker had. I mean, everybody's different, but if Murray can have the same kind of success in the NFL that Mayfield's had so far, I mean, Lincoln Riley can write a ticket to coach anywhere, especially if Jalen Hurts is another Heisman Trophy finalist.
I would say this, Dino, that's going to be, they were a shadow of what they're going to be from what the Lions were last Thursday night when they played the Browns. That will be a pretty good defensive front. Matt Patricia's, he's a lot of things. He's stubborn. He's tough with the media. He was tough on his team last year, but he's brilliant defensively. Okay, and I would think he'd be able to devise a scheme. That's the thing you're going to have to do. It's like when the Browns in a couple of weeks have to go and show that they can play Lamar Jackson.
Right. You're going
to have to play him. You're going to have to play him twice a year. I would think that Matt Patricia would have Detroit ready for him. Kyler Murray. That will be an interesting game.
That'll be fun to watch. Okay, we'll be back with you tomorrow. We'll probably have a quicker show because tomorrow is also Queen of Hearts Day, and then we'll be closer and closer to the Browns and the Titans. We've talked about it for 9 months. It's almost here. Jimmy, have a great night.
Thank you.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Again, the Donovan Live Postgame Show presented by our friends at Master Pizza. Master Pizza, taste above all. For Jimmy, I'm Dino. It's the Donovan Live Postgame Show on WKYC's Facebook Live and YouTube.